Hi everyone, welcome to the movie section show. My name is Fariba. It's nice to be back here doing a episode reaction. I know I've been gone for quite some time now, and that's just because I've been super busy and I've been basically doing a lot of things in my life, good things. So that's one of the reasons why I haven't been doing a lot of videos. I haven't been doing a lot of reactions. I haven't been able to do the podcast stuff, but that doesn't mean that was going to stop me from ever doing a reaction video for Agatha all along. So I'll probably explain about my absence at a later date, but today's the day. The first 2 episodes of Agatha all along have now dropped. I am very skeptical because, I mean, for one thing, this show is related to WandaVision because, for one thing, I loved WandaVision. I've been speaking about that very highly. I think it's like one of the top 2 Marvel shows. Heck, it's one of the best Disney Plus shows that we've had in a long time. And it's insane to see that WandaVision is what really kicked off this whole Marvel Disney Plus kind of format, and it still remains to be the gold standard to this day. Again, I've had a couple of mixed responses with other Disney Plus Marvel shows, and I've been open about that. I mean, there are a couple of really good ones that stand on, like Loki and Miss Marvel, but yeah, so Agatha all along, it's basically kind of like a companion piece to WandaVision. I believe it was revealed sometime last month that not only is the show basically kind of like companion sequel to WandaVision, but then we also heard about, you know, just confirmation of Vision Quest, or at least that's what's being called right now, Vision Quest, but the Vision series, and that's going to be kind of like setting up this whole trilogy sort of thing. So, but yeah, going into the show, of course, like I'm going to anticipate there's going to be a lot of theories. Like I feel like it's been a long time since I've watched a show where we have literally been going deep into theories and trying to speculate. I remember back when WandaVision was coming out, like everyone was talking about Mephisto, and it's like, oh, it's gotta be Mephisto. And then, of course, we have to reveal that Agnes was actually Agatha this whole time, and she was the one who was, you know, behind all the scheming behind Wanda. So but I'm gonna anticipate it's not gonna be any short of that with this show as well. I feel like already the Mephisto stuff is already starting, or the fact that, you know, I think the big one, of course, is Joe Locke. I think that's his name, Joe Locke, the guy from Heartstopper. I believe a lot of people are theorizing that he is Wiccan. And I mean, I feel like there's a lot of weight to that he could be Wiccan. I've also been hearing from just at least some of the reviews that he seems to be one of the mysterious characters, which again amplifies this whole theory speculation that he could be Wiccan. And not just that, right? I mean, this is a show that is related to WandaVision, right? And given the events that happened in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, right? We all are skeptical with the fact that, you know, Wanda might still be alive. She could still be alive, right? A lot of us are still holding up hope that Wanda could still be alive even after the events of Multiverse of Madness, and how she sacrificed herself to basically destroy the Darkhold. Now there have been a lot of cases where some books and some execs and even Elizabeth Olsen herself kind of imply that, you know, the whole Wanda Maximoff Scarlet Witch arc is over, but then of course we've been hearing a little bit tingling of the fact that Elizabeth Olsen might still be interested to return as, you know, the Scarlet Witch. And of course, again, when we watched the trailers, we had references of Wanda, the fact that they found her body, the fact that she still seems to be I wouldn't say triggering, but a character that seems to still be looming over Agatha even after the fact that she should be presumably dead. So of course we're gonna see the aftermath of that, but will we see Elizabeth Olsen and Agatha all along? We don't know. We'll see. Imagine that the theme song is gonna be Agatha all along, maybe a revamped kind of horror-ish type of version, but yeah, I'll be skeptical because again, the reviews itself, we actually don't have the reviews. I think reviews may have just expired just now, but typically speaking, you know, when you have reviews, like good reviews usually come about a couple of days before. The actual reviews don't drop until like a couple of minutes ago. I think it's supposed to be coming out like right around the time that this show is about to start. So that's usually like a red flag for me. So that's where I'm kind of like, I'm trying to contain like my expectations. But there were some first reactions. Those were actually pretty positive. So I'm just gonna have to see for myself, right? We have to see how this journey is gonna be with these 8 episodes, the next 7 weeks, or in this case, another 6 weeks after tonight. So yeah, without further ado, let's get right down into the first 2 episodes of Agatha All Along. Literally giving me Mayor of Easttown vibes.
Not much of a drop around here. She fall?
She was crushed.
By what?
Something big and heavy.
So she didn't
We
die
know
here.
what that is.
She is dead though, isn't she, Herb?
Oh, she's really most sincerely dead.
Never know.
What does that mean? I'm trying to say she's not dead. So yeah, that's Wanda. We knew that. Oh, they're not gonna show her face. Some very clever camera work right there. Who are you? Based on the Danish series Wanda. Oh, Agnes of West. Oh my God! Yeah, that's basically Mayor Evestown.
Official police business. She's a woman.
I don't know. Sounds more titillating. There are no names on here.
But there are dates.
We don't use cards anymore. Everything's digital now.
How what?
This book wasn't checked out. It was stolen 3 years ago. But we have plenty more copies in natural sciences. Now, if you'll excuse me.
Imagine if it ends up being the Darkhold. Whoa. Maybe it is a Darkhold.
Right.
Every last copy.
Right, because there was a lot of them. Right.
You're about to tell me something I'm not gonna like.
Soil samples from under the fingernails and toenails of the Jane Doe came back. They don't match the soil she was lying in. It is of a particular microbial sediment only found in Eastern Europe.
I'm gonna get to the part I'm not gonna like.
Here I am.
There's Aubrey Plaza. Pretty sure she's Morgan Le Fay, but we'll see.
Okay.
We'll see.
Fancy dirt always.
Oops. No tracks for the perp. Not a leaf disturbed before forensics showed up. It's almost like she just magically appeared.
Let's stick to reality here, yeah?
Sure.
If there's one thing we can...
Oh, it's real, all right. And it's a beaut. Where'd you get it?
Mind your beeswax, Norm.
Ah,
Where's it
he's
from?
back.
How old is it?
North
Oh, these are all
American.
Westview residents.
Maybe late 17th century, I guess. It's made from...
Darkhold. Okay. Yeah. Darkhold.
Go home, Agnes.
Mayor had kids, so Agnes. Oh yeah, this is okay. This is like direct reference from Mayor of Easttown. Yep, this is like Mayor.
But go ahead.
There was a car wreck about an hour before time of death.
Where?
Eastview.
Eastview.
There's an Eastview?
See, I thought you turned into a pumpkin that far afield.
My gut tells me they're related, but I can't shake this feeling. I'm seeing it all.
Related.
Can I ask you something? Do you remember why you hate me?
No.
Are you hiding evidence?
No.
Hey!
Week on, right?
What did you take?
Oh, you gotta be kidding me.
Don't move! I think this is like the exact episode from Mary's Town. Oh, snap.
Well, he won't give his name and he's not in the system.
First offense. You take anything from your place?
No, but not for lack of trying. I think it's time. Yes. What compelled you to break into the home of a decorated detective?
When you say decorated, do you mean suspended without pay?
Oh.
What? It's ink from the fingerprinting.
I was on
Sure.
it this morning.
What is she doing?
Asleep in bed. Total loser. Tell me what happened to her!
What are you talking about? These are just flowers.
What?
Just pictures of someone's front yard or something. Exoe ang feminom de fixum.
What are you saying?
Meo carmine exoe ang feminom de fixum.
What is that?
Exoe ang feminom de fixum.
Stop it! Get up! Get up!
Exo.
She was in her late 20s. Green eyes, 5'7". Scarlet.
I mean, we already know about this part. This isn't the trailer.
How did she die?
Wrong question. That witch is gone, and all the copies of the Darkhold with her, leaving you trapped in her distorted spell.
But you don't have to stay there, do you?
I'm hot.
Oh, there it is. There it is. There it is.
Good.
Oh.
All right, there we go.
Oh, she's naked.
What is going on? Hey, Miss Agnes, you feeling okay
Stop
today?
talking! Catch me up.
About 3 years.
3 years? What?
Ooh, we try not to say her name.
Ugh. Because you're cowards. Because you're sheep. What have I been doing all this time?
Stopping by and bringing you groceries and checking up on you.
Oh my God.
Just do something.
Oh, I got it.
Let's get her inside.
Librarian. Chief of police.
What
are you doing?
Nothing.
That's just your imagination,
Oh.
honey.
Jeweler.
Some clothes?
oh,
Cause
okay.
Cause you naked.
I got mugged, mister. Oh. So that arrest was maybe more of a kidnapping. But if you're real and not a figment of my imprisonment.
How long's it been, Agatha?
Not sure.
Since you acquired the Darkhold, you hid behind all that dark magic, but then you lost it. And now...
Oh, it's getting a little dark. Morgan, right?
Coochie coochie coo.
Oh my.
You can't kill me.
You can't kill me. Specifically.
The worst of them.
The Salem 7. I expect you'll see them at sundown.
Salem 7?
After all these centuries. Agatha Harkness. I do. It's black. And it beats for you.
Black. Morgan.
Oh, right. You.
The road will give you the thing you want the most, if you make it to the end.
That
And
sounds
I
like Wizard of
I will.
Oz.
Road is no place for a kid.
I'm 16.
Oh, sorry. Teen.
One of my favorite eras.
It's a good one.
It's why I came here last night. It's why I saved you from the spell you were under. No, it was my pleasure.
Wow.
Studied, don't get me wrong, but that can only take you so far. I want to blast, to shield, to levitate.
Oh, so you want a shortcut?
The road promises that what's missing awaits you at its end. Power is what I miss.
Who are you?
My name is...
Bruh, you F off. Oh. Okay, now you're really making me suspect that he's Wiccan. Well, there's her home. Wanda's
over here.
home.
How are you?
Yeah, perfect.
Okay.
Oh my lord.
Right.
Oh, did you want to take that?
You know, it's
Day, madam. Oh, thank you so much for seeing us. We are hoping for a miracle today. Oh, this is my boy, Buford. Oh, he doesn't talk much.
Mother, someone you hurt. They took your agency for 3 years.
Oh.
It's not the first time your witchkin betrayed you, but you survived. And I am not interested.
Wait, what?
Thank you for your purchase. Your bank statement will say Lilia's leggings, but that's just my side hustle. And eat babies.
Babies are delicious. Oh, how old are you? 410, 415?
How dare you? Eat it, Harkness.
I'm gonna walk the road.
Oh, it's sounding very much like Oz.
Kegels? No? No?
Sister of the Traveling Kegels.
God, Agatha, I haven't seen you since I made a... Who is this? Another child sacrifice?
I'm really sorry about your recent legal troubles.
Yes, I'm aware.
Fraudulent misrepresentation resulting in consumer injury?
I personally would not consider superficial.
Yet. Historically, we as a group don't do well in courtrooms.
The charge has a surprisingly lenient penalty, just like payouts and maybe like 5 years in prison, but 800 counts of it.
This goddess of rock.
Lorna Wu. As in Lorna Wu in The Coral Shore.
Take it easy.
She wrote the most famous version of the ballad. My mom went...
I know, ironic.
More like iconic.
No.
I know I have an aesthetic, but what are we doing here?
I'm Agatha Harkness. This is my familiar Toto. We need a protection witch to join us on the Witch's Road. What do you say?
What?
Gulliver!
Oh, sir, this woman just assaulted my neck. What divine intervention is this? You're out of a job, and we're setting off for the road today.
People like you are dangerous.
Agreed, but the road?
The road isn't real.
Where are you from?
Me? Originally, I mean, I was...
You telling me he ain't Wiccan? He Wiccan, right? Ah, she bringing in the blue and purple. That makes sense.
Should I get the car? Some people might need to squeeze in the back.
Man, this is so hocus pocus.
Forward beneath the wooded shrine.
Are you saying that?
Oh my god.
What's going on up there?
Are there any real witches in the house? Because all I see are has-beens and could-have-beens.
You recruited us. And I was a fool. You can forget the witch's road. I'd die before letting you befoul it with your noxious mediocrity.
Steele, you had no intention of bringing us on the road.
It's not my fault. Only a true coven can open the door.
Oh, I don't have time for this! Just blast me, you bitches!
What is that? Down the road.
I never doubted us for a second.
Sure. Alright, so those are the first 2 episodes of Agatha All Along. So yeah, I mean, just by the first episode, again, I'm gonna be holding on to some of my expectations just because I don't want to get myself too excited. But I have to say, at least having seen the first 2 episodes, it does seem like a very promising series. Like it does feel very different. It does seem as though it has an idea of where the direction it wants to go in. So let's just talk about each of the individual episodes because I decided to just watch both of them. Just to, it's similar as to how we did Acolyte, have watched both of them and then we'll actually react to it at the end. So I have to say, the first episode, I was really hooked instantly in that first episode, right? I mean, it's like, okay, this is kind of like the leftover, the debris of what we got from WandaVision. Like, we had a sense that this is going to be a little bit, it's going to still have a little bit of like that television influence to it, like how the way that, you know, Wanda was always envisioning and basically entrapped the people in Westview in her world of television, right? We saw that was like the whole idea behind WandaVision, where each time she'll be going through these different sitcoms per each episode. And so we saw this influence here as well. I mean, like I immediately was like, oh, yo, this is like Mayor of Easttown. And then of course they have the actual title sequence where it literally is like a ripoff of Mayor of Easttown. I was like, oh my god. So it literally legit was like that. But I love the fact that we do start off like that just to kind of, you know, segue into this series because, again, Agatha's introduction was coming from WandaVision, where it was all about sitcoms, all about television. So what better way than to introduce Agatha than to kind of segue into that and then just getting a sense of like a little bit of like Wanda, even though, again, we still kind of are still question whether or not she's dead, but again, I mean, and we'll talk about that in a second, but yeah, so knowing the fact that, again, from what we believe or sense to be is that if she is dead, that means that Agatha, you know, the spell that was placed on Agatha is going to slowly wear off, right? Because that was the whole point of why Wanda, you know, put her in the spell, because of what she did in Westview and the manipulation, all that sort of stuff. And we can actually see that it just only impacted Agatha. I was like, because I was wondering for a second, I'm like, wait, these are all the townspeople from Westview, because I noticed a couple of familiar faces. I'm like, are they also still entrapped? And I was like, okay, no, it's just a matter of Agatha, you know, her mind is just really manipulated by this whole spell, and everyone around is just really watching her. And you can see that later on, of course, in the episode where people are starting to are starting to encounter her once that spell is starting to wear off. Especially again, the whole mysterious character that we have with Aubrey Plaza. So yeah, I really love that whole transition into it, just getting from, you know, WandaVision to becoming this Agatha series, because of course the Agatha series has to be its own thing. It's very deep onto the witchy stuff. We see that all around. I love the influences that we see here, not just in the first episode, but the second episode as well. We see, like, if you actually watch some of the end credits, like, you can get the sense of where they're trying to, like, you know, really put in all the witchy elements to it. So I really love those kinds of, you know, references and Easter eggs. Like, I mean, it just shows again, like, where the direction of the show is right now. So it is very focused on the witch element. I mean, again, it's really perfect for this kind of this timing, this season, because it is a very witchy, very spooky season. And that's, again, I feel like the timing of it is really perfect because this is what the time is about. So the first episode, very good impression. I really love the transition from the show to her finally getting back to reality. And then seeing where her mission's gonna be, of course, all that sort of stuff. I'm trying to think for a second because I feel like I wanted to mention something else about the first episode before in second, but if I remember, I'll probably remember it. But second episode, of course, we're finally starting to get into the Agatha stuff. So Agatha and her and Wickon, or no, her and Joe Locke's mysterious character. Let's not say Wickon. Joe Locke's mysterious character whose name cannot be said, which we'll talk about in a minute. I will say the second episode was a little bit slower. I mean, that's not to say the first episode wasn't slow, but I really was hooked on that. I think the second episode did take a little bit more time to kind of really get the gist of what the show wants to be about, because again, this is now Agatha's show. So we see how she's trying to, you know, recruit her coven just to open this down the road, you know, this road that will somehow help them get their powers back. So we see that. I also, in the beginning, it takes a little bit, but once we actually get to that end right here, I think that's where I was like, oh, I'm back in the show. Like, I actually am very interested to see the next episode. So yeah, just with those two episodes, I think I will continue the show for sure. Like, I think there is enough interest where it's like, okay, I'm ready to see the next episode. Especially after that ending, I'm like, okay, we just saw these really mysterious mortar-like horsemen that are now going after them. We don't know what they are. Like, I mean, I love how the first episode really sets up so many mysteries. And again, it's just like, okay, I want these answers, right? So that's all from just the first impressions of the first two episodes. In terms of like what we got to learn, right? So we know right now there are two mysterious characters, but we don't know their names. One being Joe Locke's character. Let's be honest, every time that she keeps asking him about who he is or what he is, for some reason she can't get the sense of any sort of detail out of him. Like, it starts to really fade in some way, some form. And I let's be honest, like, I feel like the more that we're seeing these kinds of details, I'm like, yo, like, are you really telling me that he's not Wickon? Like, you couldn't make this more obvious. I mean, who knows? Maybe I could be wrong, of course. Like, maybe we're just speculating, like the way that we do with Mephisto, and it's like, oh, it's actually not Wickon. It's like the way that we thought it was Mephisto. It could be somebody else. But again, just the way that things are playing out, I'm just like, yo, Wickon? Like, you gotta be Wickon, right? So yeah, that's definitely gonna be the big mystery going into the series, even though a lot of us do believe he's Wickon. So we'll see about that. Of course, the second character that is you know, clearly mysteries, Aubrey Plaza's. I can't remember if they actually ever confirmed who her character is. Because if not, then I have a sense that she's probably Morgan Le Fay. Like, she's giving me that sense of it. Let me just quickly, let me see if they ever mentioned the character's name. No, just Rio Vidal. Yeah, so yeah, Rio Vidal, that's the character that that's the name that she gave because of the whole Mirror is Town whole stuff like there. yeah, I mean, another mystery character right there. We don't actually hear her name. Agatha clearly kind of has a sense of who she is, yet we never hear her name. And every time we're hearing references of who she is, like in the part where she's like in her house, in her living room, having the beer and pizza, I was like, and just how she was being very seductive, I was like, yo, that's giving me Morgan Le Fay vibes, because that's how Morgan Le Fay is. And then the whole black reference, I was like, okay, so she's clearly Morgan Le Fay, right? So I have a pretty strong sense that she's Morgan Le Fay, although again, I can't say that that's just speculation. That's just speculation right there. I feel like just about every other thing is speculation right now. But I have a feeling that she's Morgan Le Fay just from the hints that we've got so far. I don't know. It just seems like that's the case. And I'm very interested to see where her character is going to go. I am a little familiar with Morgan Le Fay as a character because she is actually a villain in the Marvel comics. Although I'm a bit more familiar with her and her, what does it call her? With her being an enemy of like Spider-Woman, the Jessica Drew version, that's who I'm familiar with. I'm more familiar with that side. I don't know how this will. I mean, it makes sense why they bring her because she is a sorceress. So you got that witchy vibe, and that's why she's here. As to how they're going to set up the connection, it's definitely going to be the big question mark right there. But yeah, I think that I believe Aubrey Plaza is playing Morgan Le Fay, and I believe Joe Locke is playing Wiccan. I don't know how we're going to even address Joe Locke's character, because we're like, let's just call him Joe Locke's character because we can't really say he's Wiccan because we don't know he's Wiccan. But yeah, so already my speculations right there. I love the fact that we got a lot of Wanda Maximoff references. I mean, let's be honest, like that was just like the one thing that everyone is wondering whether or not if we're actually gonna see Elizabeth Olsen return as Wanda Maximoff. And I mean, this series so far has already made it very clear how connected it is to WandaVision and to Wanda Maximoff. I mean, right from the bat, there's references to Wanda, like the fact that they mentioned how she got hit by something hard. I was like, yeah, so that's basically when the Coven, like, whatever that place was, and can't remember where it was actually. It was like maybe in Comertage, I don't know. But when she was in that Coven, and then she pulled that whole that temple down on her, so that was like a clear indication of that. The whole, if she really did not, then like the way she's talking to her partner in her Mayor of East Town world, where she's like, maybe she might not be dead. It's like, are you trying to imply something? So but we keep hearing lots of references of Wanda. I think the one thing that was very interesting is, with Aubrey's Rio Vidal character. Okay, so we have to call Rio Vidal, so let's go with that. Rio Vidal character, mysterious Rio Vidal character. She says that, now that she is dead, now that the spell is starting to wear off, and it's like, so is this basically the confirmation that Wanda is officially dead? Like, I wonder if that's now the way to officially say it, or if they're just simply saying this because, they kind of have to, make us, think in different ways and be like, oh, now that she's dead, we can finally just, end the whole conversation. Oh, never mind. There's a whole other episode where we see her alive. Who knows? Who knows, right? Maybe this is it. Maybe this is the confirmation that we needed, that, Wanda is officially dead, or maybe she's not. Who knows? We really don't know. or the show is trying to make us think that, this is confirmed, but at the same time, it's like, are they really always dead? I mean, we've seen in so many cases where characters that we've seen have died somehow come back to life. So I'm gonna be skeptical about that for a while. I'll just be like, we'll see about that. But yeah, aside from that, lots of witchy, spooky references. Love the fact that the Oz stuff. I mean, the fact that they keep talking about this road, I was like, oh, so this is like Oz, her having to recruit her group. That's whole Wizard of Oz right there. I have to say that even though the second episode was a little bit slower, it was a little bit, it took a little bit more time to kind of get me a little bit interested. The end where they start to open up the gates to that road. The I don't know what the actual song is called. Down the road where she comes, something like that. Very catchy song. We heard this in the trailer, of course, so this is not the first time we're hearing this, but very catchy song. Again, it's really giving me Hocus Pocus vibe. I really love that. It's like I love that they are really, you know, calling back to some of the greatest, you know, movies that are very focused on witches. Again, we see this in the critics, we see this some of the references here. And so, yeah, I mean, again, very promising beginning so far. Again, I have to be very reserved about my expectations because I feel like when it comes to just about anything Marvel and Disney, Star Wars Disney Plus series, they start off strong, and then as we start to progress in a show, it just starts to lose its momentum, especially by the time we get to the end. A lot of them are huge letdowns. That happened recently with Acolyte, it happened with Echo. And so I'm trying to keep my reservations and my expectations low just so that I can actually enjoy the show. Because again, I think this is a very promising show so far. It starts off great. You can tell that, you know, watching these first 2 episodes, like it does feel very organized, very managed in terms of like the tone and where it wants to take its story. It doesn't feel like it's all over the place, like with a lot of shows that I've seen in the past. And so I think that that's a really promising start. It doesn't try to do too many things. And if it can stick that way, just being very focused and narrow on its journey with Agatha and Joe Locke's character and the other witches that, you know, are going to be following her in that road, you know, that road that they're about to go through. I mean, it might be a very interesting journey, right? We'll get a lot of answers, we'll get a lot of questions, we'll be asking questions, we'll be speculating, we'll be theorizing, and then hopefully we'll get a lot of answers along that whole journey. Again, it does seem as though this is a really, you know, interesting show so far. I have to say, can I just say that Kathryn Hahn, she's absolutely amazing. I mean, I just the whole Mayor Easttown, you know, section that we got to see, just her, you know, trying to emulate Kate Winslet from Mayor Easttown. I was like, yo, like, I mean, there's a reason why she's one of the most talented actors out there. And then just seeing that transition from Mayor to, oh, by the way, I'm Agatha in Westview. It's like, okay, this is great. And I love the sequence and when she goes to see what was her name, Lilith, something like that. The way that she just tries to transition in her personality, I was like, oh my god, this is like absolutely perfect. So Kathryn Hahn already is just the standout. I mean, it makes sense why, you know, because I mean, from what I'm aware of, Agatha is just simply a supporting character that, you know, I think was introduced in one of the Fantastic Four comics or something like that. And then she was just simply, you know, a villain in WandaVision. But seeing Han's performance here, like, it's a testament to why they decide to have this extension to, you know, WandaVision, where we get to see Agatha and her journey as a witch and her trying to reclaim back her magic that Wanda took away from her back in, you know, the WandaVision finale. So I'm very intrigued to see what more we're going to see of not just her character, but of Han as well. Again, I really like Joe Locke's character. I did not expect that. That was something, that was the one thing I did not expect to happen, is like, okay, will I actually, because a lot of times, like, you know, you might have some good stories, but like, will you actually be invested in the character, and especially new ones? And just seeing Joe Locke and just his, you know, his whole energy in the show, I was really surprised how much I was actually invested in him and his character and his interaction with Agatha, which I have to say, I was surprised how good that dynamic is. I did not expect it to be actually interesting. Which is like, okay, wow, this feels so different from like everything else I've seen from Disney Plus. So I hope that's continues to be the case as we get into, you know, the next episodes. Again, we've seen the first 2 right here. There's gonna be 6 more, and you know, moving forward, we're gonna have like 1 episode per week, so there's gonna be 6 more weeks of this whole journey here. But yeah, I have to say, I'm very interested. I'm getting the vibes. I love so far the style of it. You can definitely get the sense of the witchy horror-ish kind of vibes, although it doesn't take it too hard. Although I will say I'm a bit surprised of how a little bit more mature it is. So if it is gonna be staying in the mature route, I actually like that. So hopefully we'll see more of that. Again, I love it when Disney, you know, decides to take risks with these kinds of movies. You know, just about anything with Marvel. Like we saw that with Deadpool Wolverine with the whole R-rated thing. And so I hope that, you know, we get to see a little bit more of that maturity, a little bit more of that horror vibe. Although again, it doesn't have to go full horror. As long as it has a really good balance of it, then it's gonna be a very worthy show for what it is and what it can provide, and doing so in a way that is still kind of family friendly. Again, we'll see. But so far it's kind of supposed to be family friendly, but yeah, we have seen a lot more answers. We got a lot more answers as to what's going on. It's been 3 years, so we kind of know a little bit more of that. Definitely gonna be questions about whether or not we're gonna see the Darkhold come back in some form, some way. Oh wow, some form, some way. It does seem as though that's gonna be kind of the key to this whole journey right here as well, because the Darkhold is basically what, you know, because of the fact that Wanda destroyed that Darkhold in I believe it was all the multiverses, right? So it's like it ceases to exist. So it's like, okay, what does this mean, you know, for the witches and the coven and just about anybody who has, you know, these powers, and then what they're gonna do to kind of, you know, contain their power, right? So, but yeah, I think it's a very promising start so far. Again, I'm just gonna, you know, I'm not gonna say, wow, this is the greatest show, or this is one of the best, you know, Marvel Disney Plus shows I've seen. Let's not get all the way there yet. We need to watch the show, of course. But I think right now, the first 2 episodes have definitely put in a very good impression of where the story is gonna be, what the characters' journeys are gonna be, the performances, the dynamic that we're gonna see in the show, kind of the vibes of it. I think this is the perfect tone that we need for a series like this. And again, I can't wait to see a little bit more of that magical, witchy, you know, horror vibe that we get from like some like things like Wizard of Oz and Hocus Pocus. So, but yeah, I'm very excited to continue this journey as we go into the future episodes for it. But yeah, I think that just about wraps up all the thoughts I have about this show. I think, again, very good beginning. I hope this will continue to be the case. Again, I've already expressed my opinions and my experiences just about a whole bunch of Marvel and Star Wars Disney Plus shows. I hope that this could maybe give me a little bit something to actually be excited about. And so far, I'm very intrigued. So I will be continuing, of course. But let me know your thoughts, having now seen the first 2 episodes, because again, it's 2 episodes. Having seen the first 2 episodes, right? What are your theories going into? I feel like it's been a long time since we actually started doing like things like theories and speculations. When was the last time we started doing that? Like, I can't even remember the last time we actually went deep into theories and speculations and guessings and predictions. Like, this is the first time that we're actually getting back into kind of this vibe. Like, I feel like it's been so long. Like, I know WandaVision was like that. Now we're seeing that with this, so it's really fun to do that again. But yeah, big question: what are your speculations and theories going into this series? Who is this character that Joe Locke is playing? Do you think it is Wiccan? I mean, just given just what's been going on every time that Agatha is trying to interact with him and trying to get some answer about who he is, it's just a blurb. We can't really hear it. Why can't she hear anything about who this Wiccan who this Joe Locke character is? Is it truly Wiccan? Is this who Wanda, you know, was trying to find her son that we saw back in Multiverse Madness? Or is it an entirely different character that maybe a lot of us have not predicted? Or maybe we're just getting away with the whole Wiccan thing? Let me know your thoughts about that. Who do you think, you know, Aubrey Plaza is playing? I feel like I think that's almost pretty given that she could be playing Morgan Le Fay, but maybe I could be wrong. Maybe you have other suspicion. You might have other suspicion of who she's playing, who the character could be, and how she's going to be significant to this whole series. Going into the show, of course, right, because it's so connected to WandaVision, do you actually think we're going to see Elizabeth Olsen return as Wanda Maximoff / Scarlet Witch? Is that really going to happen? Or maybe we're just getting ahead of ourselves here? Let me know if you have any other thoughts and concerns about, you know, just first 2 episodes. Like, what are your impressions so far? Are you really vibing it? Do you like the tone? Do you like what has progressed so far in terms of Agatha and her journey, that we now got a little bit of a sense of where she's been after 3 years? You still need a little bit more time to just digest kind of what's gone on so far. Do you like the tone? Do you like this Witcher tone? What do you think about the references that we've seen so far? The stuff that we've actually already seen, so like the musical aspects, the whole journey. Who are those weird horseman characters that seem to look like those horsemen from Lord of the Rings. They look very like those horsemen from Lord of the Rings. But who are they? What they are? Why are they going after them? Are they specifically going after all of them, or is it just Wickon? And again, questions about who not Wickon. I keep saying Wickon. I meant to say Joe Locke again. Wickon is just my theory, but why are they going after Joe Locke's character? Why they're involved? Where is this story gonna go moving forward? And let me know what your expectations are. If you are liking this, what are your expectations going forward, and what you hope the show can do in terms of just like the whole the whole universe for the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Let me know your thoughts below, and make sure to like and subscribe.